society is evolving and technology is evolving. It sounds odd to use the word technology and children at the same time because you don't think of it as and maybe it's not technology, maybe it's knowledge. But now we know why babies scream, why they have colic. Now we have ways of calming a fussy baby in minutes or even seconds. Now we have ways of getting any baby to sleep an extra hour at night. Now we have ways of taking temper tantrums and cutting them down in length and shortening them by 75 to 90%.
My mom often reminds me that I was a colicky baby and I cried for 2 years and my sister was
what can he blame it on
so
now?
much better than me. What is colic? Exactly?
How do we get him to stop?
Well, believe it or not, colic is really related to babies being born 3 months before they're ready. I mean, not that I've ever talked a woman into trying this. It's just a theory, ladies and gentlemen. But if you ever saw a baby horse, they're up and running the first day of life. Our babies are very immature by comparison. They have to be born after 9 months in the womb because their heads are so big. And so, in fact, it's not till they're 3 or 4 months that they're smiling and interacting with you. So what we have to do for those first 3 or 4 months is not get them to tough it out and make them cry on their own, but it's rather to imitate the womb. And when you do that in exactly the right way with these 5 techniques, you can literally flip a switch. You can turn on a calming reflex that gets fussy babies calm and helps virtually any baby sleep longer.
Give me more specifics on that and how to do that. You've got a screaming baby. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's only a couple of months old. You're reminding me that it's humans have this thing. Our babies are born early and they're really very helpless. How do I simulate the womb?
Okay, so there are 5 steps. They're called the 5 S's. The first is swaddling, which is really snug wrapping with the arms down.
Okay.
The second, and that's the starter.
That's a feeling of security.
It's a feeling of security, but also it keeps them from flailing around and upsetting themselves even more.
You just take a nice soft blanket and kind of wrap them in it, tuck it under their
Well,
feet.
but the way you do it is key because there are safe ways and there are unsafe ways, and you don't want to overheat a baby. And so you really have to know how to do it, not just go at it. So that's the starter. And even if they cry more when you do that, they still need it. They still need the wrapping. Babies don't need
the wrapping is
independence.
important. It's a feeling of it's like being in the womb.
Right. That's the foundation. Then the next 4 S's. First is the side stomach position. The back is the only position for sleeping, but it's the worst position for calming a baby because they feel like they're falling when they're on their backs. So you roll them to the side
I still
of the
feel
stomach.
that now, by the way. I'm 55.
Come here.
No,
Come
I know
here.
what you mean. I can't sleep on my back. But babies do sleep on their backs, and they're supposed
They
to sleep on their
have to
backs.
sleep on
Okay.
the backs. It's safer. But
Okay.
it's the worst position when they're crying. When they're crying, you roll them over. That might or might not work. Every baby's different, so you have to kind of play around with these
Sure.
and find the best ones. The next S is shushing, which
Shushing.
is a loud shh.
Is it the white noise?
It's white noise. And the sound in the womb is shh, 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 except it's twice as loud as a vacuum cleaner, 24/7.
So when you're hearing an ultrasound, which was one of my favorite moments of when Lisa had Keith and I heard that. I thought that was just the gel on her tummy and the microphone, but there is a sound inside the womb.
Yeah, it's the blood whooshing through the arteries because the baby's being fed with all of that blood. But it echoes in there. It's kind of like when you run the tub, you know how loud the tub sounds, but then you put your head in the water and it's like thunder.
So how do you make that swooshing? With your mouth?
Yeah, you can shush with your mouth, but it turns out that there are white noise machines and things like that. We made a special
Yeah, do you have like a CD? You do have a
We
CD.
do have a CD.
You have a
Our
womb-
iTunes app.
I like a
Cut 2.
collection.
Cut 3. Cut 4.
Well, here's the weird thing, because in the womb, it filters out the high-pitched sound. So what babies are hearing is not really shh. What they're hearing is it's very deep and rumbly. And that's the best sound for babies. And in fact, you play it I recommend people use it all night long for the entire first year of life.
Not kidding.
Because you think it's normal to be in a quiet room. It's not normal for a baby. Maybe
Okay.
for you it is. For a
So
baby,
that's
it's
the third
weird.
thing, the shushing. And what's next?
So the fourth is swinging or rhythmic motion. It's a jiggly motion when they're upset, and when they calm down, it's a smoother, gentle
Rockabye
motion.
baby.
Rockabye baby. But if they're screaming and you're just calmly rocking them, won't do anything. You have to get a little bit of jiggle going. Now, that's not the same as shaken baby syndrome.
Yeah.
You never, ever shake a baby.
It's not bounce up and down on the knee time yet.
Well, it's kind of bounce up.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, so
Just
like
a
you
little
said,
bit.
imagine you're sitting on an exercise ball or on the edge of your bed.
Pick
and you're
something
kind of
else. He has
bouncing.
no idea what exercise ball is. Anything else.
It is an exercise ball.
Yeah.
All right, so now that's
And then-
fourth. And then the final one?
And then the fifth S is sucking. which is kind of the icing on the cake. Once you calm them down, for a lot of babies, sucking is the first thing you'll go to. You know, they're upset, you wrap them up, you put them on the breast, and they calm down.
Yeah.